What?
I understand Matthew's missing the outside world, but he's been looking outside the peephole for the last 3 hours.
Oh. Well, in fairness, I put your Gorilla Glue on the peephole. Can't be held accountable all the time for the things I do. Anyway, I think I cracked this idea, man. It's a hippo who has to take a Hippocratic oath. It's like a play on words. Oh, it's also on the remote. But anyway, I was like saying, think like, we could call it Hippo Squared. It's Chris's movie. A hippo has to take the Hippocratic oath. He has to work on a doctor's. He works on hips.
Hey, it's starting to rain.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Squirrels adore the name, admire the fame of Rupert. He's in a class alone, the one and only Rupert. He jumps rope so gracefully, and you ought to see him climb a tree.
Do it, man. Do it. Do the thing. Get us home.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. Now, you guys will probably notice that we are right in the middle of the Christmas season, and a couple things are going on in our personal lives right now. First of all, we've just had the misfortune of learning that Jim Carrey is actually a flaming douche nozzle who should never be worshipped at all and is a fucking isolated, egotistical jackass who long ago has lost all touch of reality. It takes a lot for me to say that. So by being fair, I want to put out into the world that he's a douche to show that even Jason's passionate, childish, fanboyism...
Shut up, man. Just get to the goddamn Squirrel movie.
...can be balanced.
Wait, this is new?
Now, the other thing going on in our life is we decided to share a little Christmas cheer with you guys. We've got this adorable IKEA tree Mateo puts out every year.
How you know it's IKEA?
It's not IKEA. It's Hallmark.
We've got this adorable Hallmark tree that Mateo puts out every year from the store that Matthew used to work at where he met Joshua Andrew Cesena. That's not his middle name. And you don't know it.
Oz.
That's Drew.
Drew is Oz?
Ozzy.
Damn it, Joshua.
So anyway,
this is very important for the movie that we're about to discuss.
all of this is important for the movie we're about to discuss, which is going to get into the good old-fashioned Christmas spirit. It's a charming tale about generosity, wacky mishaps, and a squirrel wearing a Scottish outfit that is irrepressibly adorable. I am referring, of course, to 1950's The Great Rupert, starring none other than Jimmy Durante, the incomparable Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman was a jolly, happy soul.
Place the hat on top of my head and jingle my snowballs. We won't tell the cops about that part.
Fuck Jimmy Durante.
Matthew hates Jimmy Durante and is glad that he's dead. So, happy holidays to you and yours. We are getting into The Great Rupert. I'm going to save this one from doing the synopsis. I'm going to turn instead to the lovely, charming
Why don't you do
Mateo, who never is shaken by anything. Matthew wants to die. He's pissed at Jimmy Durante. But Mateo is unflapped.
That's what fucking I hate about Jimmy Durante. Fucking joy. That's the worst thing a person can...
We'll get to the piano playing. But Mateo...
Yes.
You are going to be our anchor and break down this charming / awful movie.
Yes.
What is The Great Rupert? Who is he? What's he all about?
So, The Great Rupert is a story of a trained squirrel, which doesn't impress anybody at first, apparently.
You mean that's it?
He dances, though.
He dances, but the manager
Apparently in the 1950s, that was the type of thing.
That was just like one of those things you say, okay. So, the owner of Rupert vacates the premise, and in his apartment enters Jimmy Durante and his lovely family, who are a trapeze, no, not a trapeze, a pyramid acrobat trio, which we never see perform.
A human pyramid scheme.
Yes. And the son of the owner of the apartment falls in love immediately with the daughter of Jimmy Durante.
Forehead.
Forehead, yes, lovely called Forehead.
And we might be able to do something about it.
A marriage license only costs $2.
Yeah, but how could we live?
We could manage.
How?
That's
Not-
a 5-head.
Yes,
Well-worn joke, but it still works.
yes. Meanwhile, the owner of the house,
Dingle.
Mr. Dingle, yes, receives a bizarre letter that a gold mine that he owns, I guess, will give him $1,500 per week. And he hides them in the wall. And Rupert, the squirrel, who has moved back into the apartment, for some reason decides to take the money and throw them into the house where Jimmy Durante and his family live.
In what is easily the most adorable scene in the history of cinema. I mean, if you guys haven't seen an adorable squirrel taking dollar bills being funneled into his hole and throwing them down another hole, much to the joy of other people.
Simultaneously, as he is throwing them down into the house, Jimmy Durante's wife is praying for money, and money comes from heaven, and that
For
happens.
Beelzebub's shoes, Rosalinda.
Yes, Rosalinda, Rosie.
Rosalinda.
Yes.
Rosalinda needs a new pair of shoes.
Rosalinda needs shoes and click $1,500.
I like that he actually brought that up. The old baby needs a new pair of shoes. They don't actually need a pair of shoes. That's just a term of expression. Or what do you say? A term of...
No,
God, it's like just being assaulted by a fucking relative at a party when you're just cornered and they're drunk and they're just like, just breathing on your face and all you can
Hey,
smell
it's me,
cigar
Jimmy
and alcohol.
Durante. Matthew O'Reilly didn't want to watch this, but for the next 90 minutes, I'm going to be barreling through with the friggin' zip and zim of an amateur showman.
It's like you went to a retirement home for a Christmas Eve performance of the Great Rupert, and you're just stuck there because your grandfather's dead, so your grandmother has no one, so you got to sit there next to her and watch the performance happen, and they're just
All right,
screaming
so now we're
and
gonna have
spitting on.
So the owner of the house puts the money in the wall, and in the wall. Rupert throws the money onto Jimmy Durante's family. They spend it, and on and on and on and on.
They spend it quite quickly.
They spend it incredibly quickly, and so that they awakens the suspicion of the IRS, the FBI,
And the INC.
You know, no joking, it's incredibly congruent to the Dumb and Dumber. We found this briefcase full of money. We're good people.
We borrow a few bucks, just a small loan from the briefcase, and we find ourselves some reasonable lodging. It's a good plan. And we'll keep track of all the money we spend with IOUs. We'll be meticulous, right down to the last penny. Whatever we borrow, we pay back. We're good for it. Where's our bond?
This is the Hotel Danbury Presidential Suite, gentlemen. Normally reserved for royalty, visiting dignitaries, illustrious stars of stage and screen. We have shortly coming the Emperor and Empress of Japan. And of course, Princess Charles and I, when they were together, used to frequent the hotel constantly.
We'll take it!
I said that jokingly, but it's kind of exactly the same.
and so what happens is that I don't even go with the safe bet because it doesn't seem to go anywhere. The whole story about the $2,000 that the daughter needs. But what
What
happens
about
is
Phil Davidson? Pete Wentz? What's his name?
Phil Davidson, aspiring songwriter, tuba player, and all-around horn dog.
He's an agent.
oh yeah.
The agent.
No, and then meanwhile, the
Gosh, those old Irish men just fucking cracking fucking zingers at you.
son
And like you're fucking nauseous from like the cigar smoke and the smell of alcohol in the air. God.
the son of the
I was still in the synopsis.
of the homeowner writes a song, a romantic song for tuba and harp, which Jimmy Durante's daughter passes for her own, and their home catches fire, all the money is lost.
Because Rupert grabs a cigarette.
Because Rupert grabs a lit cigarette.
Oh, I missed that.
And,
Did you smoke it?
Yeah, you were in the bathroom.
He just grabbed it.
I'm moving out of this shack the first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, because Jimmy Durante tosses it up in the air and
asshole. Just fucking put it in your mouth. Just put it in your fucking mouth.
Oh, and then Rupert grabbed it.
Not everything is goddamn performance. Yeah.
Yes.
And then the fireman comes out. I was like, oh no, we all we found was a dead squirrel.
What'd you find? Nothing but a dead squirrel. Why, he isn't dead. He's just overcome by smoke. All he needs is a little fresh air. Wonder what he was doing in the house.
Like out of the entire the houses, the duplex, all you found was a dead squirrel.
You can make jokes all you
and
want
you
about
took the dead squirrel out,
Rupert on
and then
screen.
then it wakes up. And first of all, is this a dead squirrel? Is this a taxidermy squirrel that they puppeteered back to life?
Hold on. First of all, the back clearly will tell us what Hollywood legend animated Rupert and what were groundbreaking effects for the time. Secondly, you're not allowed to make fun of any part that has Rupert on screen. When he brought him out and I thought he was dead, everything in me just dropped. Just fucking lurched to the ground. Then he opened his eye and it was okay.
And at the end, Rupert performs with the Huckleberry Midget, or whatever, whatever
the hack and saw midget.
The hack and sack midgets.
Hack and sack midget.
They put him in a sack, saw him up.
Yes. So, very discombobulated, but this is a story. Oh, and the song, that the tuba and harp song becomes a hit, and so everybody will make a lot of money.
And this all happens on Christmas Eve.
And it happens in the longest Christmas Eve. You think that Halloween kills and Halloween ends has the longest Halloween ever. Actually, between Halloween and Halloween Kills is still the same night, which is about a 49 hours night.
Yeah.
Apparently no one on Earth likes Halloween Ends, is my observation. From what I've heard, there's a certain thing where it's that line drawn where it's like, this is why everyone hates it in the ending, or everyone keeps saying they tried to go a different way. Apparently there's some guy named Corey, but again, I haven't seen these.
Yes, everybody said it's kind of like when they had the beautiful idea of doing Jaws the Revenge. The first thing that they thought is say, oh, the movie about the killer shark. Quick, let's give Ellen Brody a love interest, a plane pilot. Think for a second where a shark is and where a plane is, and you see how there's a very limited room for them to intersect.
You crash into the water.
Story.
How can
Eventually,
a shark float?
yes.
When you bought her first house, what was that like for you?
Oh, that was incredible for me, for my mother to have a house. Because we lived in, we grew up in council houses, you know.
She was worried you couldn't afford it.
What I did is, one of the worst pictures I did was a picture, I think it was called Jaws 4.
The Revenge.
The Revenge, yeah. And I had a little part in that.
Damn thing's disappeared. He's gone.
And I was paid $1 million for 2 weeks' work. And with that money, I bought her the house. And someone said to me, I saw that Jaws 4. He said, it stinks. I said, I haven't seen it. I said, but I've seen the house it bought my mother, and it's marvelous.
How's that for a bargain? Only $49.50.
But, Papa, what do we want with a polar bear rug?
This isn't an ordinary polar bear. Just watch. All you gotta do is twist the tune and... Music! It's all to a radio. You gotta tune this for short wave.
You'll appreciate this. We'll just touch on it for 5 seconds.
Don't tell him what he's going to appreciate, man. You have no idea what he appreciates or values in life.
Yeah.
I have a very clear understanding of what Mateo appreciates and values in life. Last night, Jaws 2 came on the old AMC.
Hey.
The channel, not my job. And I thought to myself, we need to sit down and have a discussion.
By the way, spoiler alert, the shark did it. Go ahead.
Also, spoiler alert, I don't have a job. I'm locked in this apartment.
True.
We need to have a talk about how much of a pretty goddamn good movie Jaws 2 actually is.
Yeah.
How much the characters are actually well written and likable, and how much emotion and passion Scheider is putting into this role. I think by the time you hit Jaws 3 and 4, it's kind of objectively the lesser half. But I think, while having to have the impossible task of living up to an iconic piece of cinema, Jaws 2 is actually very solid and treats its characters with respect, and there's a lot of emotion put into the Chief Brody story.
When does Roy Scheider die?
He doesn't come back for 3, so just 1 and 2.
They say in 4, they say that he had a heart attack. He appears only on a photo on a wall.
But,
like taped to the wall?
Yes. My husband does that. I put just like this photo on the fridge.
When he's cleaning up the bullet shells on the beach, and his son comes and picks them up. The look, and you've talked to me about how much is in an actor's look. The look that Scheider gives his son as he's staying by his dad and picking up the shells, that movie deserves validation for that alone. It's beautiful. We don't talk enough about how Jaws 2 is actually pretty great. Topic for another time, guys. So, adorable little Rupert.
I thought you were
looks like he's
pointing at
impaled.
I got to turn his good eye towards the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps Chumley would like to say hello to Immortus. Chumley says hi to Immortus. Immortus, if you're watching. We all know who that is.
He's just laying there, man. You got to make him do something.
Chumley says hello to fellow stuffed shark Immortus. Hi, Immortus. So, we are...
Goddamn tree.
We ask Matthew what he thinks about this charming...
Matthew, what do you think about Jimmy Durante's nose?
I fucking hate Jimmy Durante's nose.
And whatever is attached to it.
Tell us about the piano night.
They come into the house.
We came over for Christmas.
On Christmas Eve, and like, oh, we're your new neighbors.
They invite themselves.
Yeah, and like they're your tenants. Like, get the fucking back in the fucking apartment. You even pays for the first month's rent. And they just showed up. And then they just start fucking playing the piano and start singing fucking Christmas carols by himself. No one's even joining in.
Katie, get Mr. Amendola a chair. And some coffee and some cake, Katie. Where's the Christmas spirit? That's right. Where is the Christmas spirit? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
I would fucking kill anyone who came into my house with that much joy and spirit and life in them.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. I am your singing telegram.
I fucking hate people who enjoy life and want to express that outwardly in front of others inside their house. I hate you too.
I always like the end of Planes, Trains, Automobiles. The family has been waiting for Steve Martin the whole time. Where the hell is Steve? We've got to start our holiday. And when he does show up...
You thinking about Johnny Candy?
He has a stranger that no one's ever met before.
Hence, stranger.
What?
Mateo made you look like a fucking idiot. That's what just happened.
Right, I got it.
All right, kiddo.
Daddy!
Del Griffin. Christmas, I want you to meet my father-in-law, Walt, my mother-in-law, Peg, hi, my mother, Joy, well, my dad, Mark. Glad to see you, son.
Welcome, Bill.
Hey, guys, Neil Jr.
So nicely played. But the first thing that the father says to John Candy, shakes his hand, he says, welcome. I don't know who you are. My son-in-law or son who's late is here. You're in my house for the holidays, and welcome. And I know this is completely clashing with Matthew's hysterical rant about hating this type of thing, but I always love that moment, especially from a Thanksgiving movie. I've never seen you before in my life. You're in my house. Oh my God. Welcome. It's beautiful.
I love the excitement of Christmas. I'll never forget one Christmas Eve when I was a kid. I hung my stocking up on the mantle, went to bed, and when I woke up the next morning, what do you think I found in my stocking? My father's foot.
Subtle moment, but I always thought it was a beautiful moment of that film.
I need to get out of this apartment.
Okay.
Isn't it nice?
It's very nice.
Welcome.
For them.
Let me out of here! They wake up in the morning and say, it's time to suck some dick. Oh, what's that in my mouth? It's gin. So the moment when our vaudevillian is saying goodbye...
God, they're fucking a family of vaudevillians.
Do you mind?
The moment that our vaudevillian is saying goodbye to Rupert in the park utterly crushed my heart in horrible ways.
Now go on, go on. Yes, I know you don't want to. Go on. I know you'll be happy here. I know they're going to love you. You'll be the life of the party, doing the somersaults and all the cute little tricks that I taught you. Go on, I tell you. Beat it, I tell you. Beat it, I tell you. Shall I do?
Well, I mean, he kind of just like fucking death grips him from the back, rips his clothes off so he's naked, and throws him out into the wild. Like, oh, you've been trained your entire life to be a domesticated squirrel who fucking dances on stage in a fucking Scotsman's kilt. Okay, now go and live out in the wild. And he's like, what do I do? Oh, let me try to get this nut. And all the other squirrels are taking the nuts from him. So then a dog chases him up a tree. So he's like, oh, I gotta go back to the house. So he goes back to the house where he has his nuts stored at the...
At least I can set that on fire.
Yeah.
That
man has no chin.
How much of the squirrel do you think was live, and how much was a stop motion? And was it a dead?
It was a taxidermied squirrel.
Probably.
It was pretty much like a fucking zombie squirrel on screen. It's horrifying.
There's the names on the back, but you do such a good job of setting it up.
Rankin Bass?
George
Paul.
George Powell was a producer of cartoons.
Once upon a time, there was an old woman who lived in a shoe.
We are fortunate indeed in being present to it. Come, Mr. Strauss. Is that nice? Let's see now, where was I?
I sure got me a mess of pie.
Yeah, we sure have, ain't we?
We? What you mean, we?
Well, we's we, ain't we?
We was we, but we ain't we anymore. Did you snitch that piece of pie?
They called it a puppet tune.
Yes.
Did they?
Yeah.
So the idea of having
It's a zombie squirrel.
As a zombie squirrel was pretty natural for him. And so much so that apparently, rumor has it, that he was asked where they found the squirrel that trained to do the dance salute and everything, because it was actually
it was amazing.
Pretty good animation for
all
the
joking
time.
aside, it's amazing. Yes, for 1950 to have a dancing squirrel stop motion, this was pretty amazing. Imagine what he had to do to pitch this idea. Excuse me, Mr. Paramount, if you got a couple minutes at the urinal, I'll tell you how I can make a dead squirrel dance. Well, that sounds good, kid.
Euphemism?
Bring me a dead squirrel. I don't have it. No problem.
All right, kid, meet me on the lawn in 15 minutes with the dead squirrel. I want to see what you got. You have to make the noises while you do it? That's all part of it.
It's in my contract. Can you see it? Line 8.
Perfect.
And so he sold this idea as well as a completely different idea called Destination Moon. And it was a sci-fi picture.
3, 2, fire.
With the squirrel?
No.
Oh.
Squirrel astronaut. I got a lot of plans for the squirrel corpse I found.
Those are
The world's a big place for me. I saw a squirrel corpse on the sidewalk 3 weeks ago. My mind exploded with possibilities.
That's how then they started to do the Santa Paws and all those movies with the talking dogs and everything. Same thing. Because there is one the dogs in space, I think.
Space Buddies.
Oh, Space Buddies.
I'm floating like a balloon. What's happening? Zero gravity.
Ooh, the stench on set. Jesus Christ. You know, there's a thing called practical effects, not authentic.
But that was the genesis of this thing.
It could be a lot worse. Now, if you give me your undivided attention.
A movie that it's sort of sold as a Christmas movie, but Christmas is incidental. It's at the beginning, and then the movie goes on for, I would say, a few months. The story.
It has, in fairness, yes, it is start there and move on, but it has the classic Christmas DNA.
It has
oh no, the family's down their luck. They need help. Who will give them help? A magical thing happens.
It's weird because it starts as Christmas, Merry Christmas, the tree and all the things.
That's the first thing she buys with the
money is
the sky.
yeah.
Let's deck the halls for Christmas.
And then all of a sudden forget Christmas and just go on for the story for a few months.
Well, also Rupert himself.
Then again, look at two of those posters, you know.
Yes.
And we thought this was his Christmas outfit, but he's just in a.
He's a Scotsman.
Scotsman.
Yes.
Or a golfer.
Matthew, of course, hated it. I didn't
hate it.
I was with it in the beginning.
I fucking hate Jimmy Durante.
Well, well. You cast your dough upon the waters, it circulates, and it comes back strawberry shortcake.
I will never watch Frosty the same way again.
But what
the voice, and also I think they said they jacked his voice for Doggy Daddy from Hanna-Barbera cartoons, because it was actually him who did the voice.
What are you gonna do now, Augie? Scalp me?
Yes, dear old Dad. It won't hurt a bit.
Hold on there! You won't have time for that! You're in the next show!
Keep your wig warm, Dad. I'll be back.
I hope there's room for the three of us.
But they did like a whatever, who cares?
It should be said the plot is not bad. It almost has a Mrs. Doubtfire type of wacky, like this squirrel is laundering money without knowing it.
Yes.
Don't indict the squirrel. He was just pushing pieces of paper outside of his house.
Your Honor, all he was simply doing was taking something shoved into his hole and putting it into another one. I did the same thing in my early porno career in college.
Exactly.
Could have been better.
Corner?
Porno.
Say it again.
Your Honor, all this squirrel was doing was simply taking something that was shoved into his hole and putting it into another nearby hole. I got through my porno career in early years of college in the same way. Still not hitting like I want. But I think and perhaps again, yes, it's 1970 something, the shark is not working.
Oh.
Perhaps Rupert was just a bitch and a half to make 2 seconds of footage.
I would imagine
But
so.
had we stuck with Rupert a little more, as the through line. I am a tender-hearted sucker for cliche Christmas garbage. I might have been able to really like this. I thought I was going to in the beginning, but I agree. We stick with the families too much, and we let the little guy go to the side. He is the enticing indecent to the whole thing, but I think I look at these covers sometimes, and Matthew brings them in as $1 from an Ohio thrift store.
It's $1.99 from Goodwill.
And I think we're just going to laugh at it. I'm expecting the lowest bar. I thought it was decent as an old family comedy. I think had we just not been so sidetracked away from the adorable Rupert.
Just what do you do for a living? Doesn't the name of Amendola suggest nothing to you? You surely must have seen us perform someplace. Florida in the racing season, Lake Placid in the winter season, or perhaps Africa in the malaria season. Yes, sir, Dingle. Someday you'll be able to say the Amendolas were your tenants. If I don't get my rent money, I'll be able to say that tomorrow.
I can't keep doing this, guys. I can't keep coming after full work shifts and watching this. And then let alone...
But you live here.
I mean, being here for the first part of the day and then watching this. Let alone discussing it, and let alone you asking me questions about it.
Well, what was the most irritating aspect?
Durante.
I couldn't help it.
His voice?
His voice in the old-time comedy, and everything has to be a goddamn joke and bit, and like you're just so fucking tired and you just want to go to bed, but you're staying at his house, so you're sleeping on the floor, so you can't even go to bed because he won't turn the lights out, and he keeps wanting to tell you one last story before you go to sleep. And it's just that
it's quite literally, you weren't there, but it's Sam from John's. The old man at John's who would come in and say, "What's TOP?" Say top.
Yes, exactly.
MOP, say mop.
That.
So and so. What do you do when you come to a green light? Stop. No, you don't. You go. They're not going to give you a license. Or, hey, what's what's
Just stabbing him in the fucking throat.
Hey, what's TOP? Say,
God, that's the worst because they know you're trapped. They know you're trapped. They know your job to talk to them.
Silk 5 times. Yeah. What do cows drink? No, they don't. They drink water. Okay. So Matthew's hatred of Jimmy Durante is exactly what this old man that came into John's was. And his wife had recently died, and it was very sad because he was clearly here and lonely. He would do the same 2 jokes every week. That man is Jimmy Durante in this movie.
Sir, we just unlocked the door 2 seconds ago. Have you been here all night?
I slept in the back. Hey, what's TOP? Say top.
Call it, please.
And with you, Amendola, how's the act been going?
Us? Great, sensational. Why, if I made any more money, I'd have to buy myself a wallet.
So, Jimmy Durante's nose, probably in 1950, made up about 25% of the weight of the world on the human population. When scientists calculated what the mass of human life was, Jimmy Durante's nose was factored into that. It's massive. I mean, it is massive.
Yeah, no, he gave it the name, Schnoz or something like that. So he was just like a part of his repertoire.
Is he Jewish? So we shouldn't be talking about this if he is.
No, Durante is an Italian name. He was born in New Jersey.
Right, it's okay to make the fun of the size of people's noses as long as they're not Jewish. Yeah. Then a line is crossed, apparently.
Well, there's got to be some Jews.
Even at the end of the movie when he makes peace with the owner of the house.
Amendola, my friend. Single old pal.
Ew, man. What the fuck are you rubbing out your nose onto someone else's fucking nose?
Then they fade to black, but after that they fucked.
Oh.
Wait, they rub noses?
You hear the sounds.
Yes.
They rub noses?
During the entire closing credits?
Yeah, that's why he moves like...
They did an Eskimo kiss?
Yeah.
Ew, imagine all the blackheads and pus exploding out of the pores onto someone else's nose and then rubbing them inside that old man's pores.
Mateo brought up that his last name is Amendola, which is possibly something with Amen dollar? Maybe?
Because the woman, his wife clearly was very religious.
Yes. That's how they...
And
but every time she asked for shoes?
We haven't even got a tree. No money to buy some little gift. Not even a pair of shoes for Rosalinda.
I don't.
You don't?
And for another time, I genuinely don't. I mean, want to open up the can of worms this is, because it's a whole other thing. But I do find it interesting.
You're going to bring up the Holocaust again, are you?
This is another rant about the Holocaust, is it? The cops and the insurance guy is there, and they say, "What happened with this money?" And the lady says very genuinely, "I prayed and it came from heaven." and that is looked at as about as ridiculous of an answer as a raving atheist douchebag like myself would see it as. Again, I don't want to open up this can of worms, but it's very interesting to me how most of the world seems not to believe when it comes time.
Miracles are only miracles if there's no tangible proof.
If people were as believer as the response to atheism would have one believe, I think that they would be like, you know what? We believe in God. I think it's completely viable that this money came from heaven. Instead, it's looked at as idiotically as someone of my ilk would. I know that's a whole separate discussion. We've talked about the cyclical, unending nature of those discussions in general. But I have to say I do find it interesting. Not even for a second would these men believe that that could have happened. I'm sensing some discongruity, that's not a word, between what people say they believe and what.
Thank you for driving another nail into that coffin.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Right? It's just weird. It's never considered like an actual viable thing. It's looked at the way that I would pitch it.
I mean,
in
depends who you say it to.
It just, even the other day, you were talking about, and we had a good laugh over the politician who, like, there was a problem in his state, and he said, I'm going to go home and pray. And it's like, well, wouldn't that be a viable thing if everyone believes? Again, I genuinely don't want to get into this because this is a whole other shebang, but it was part of the movie. I do find it interesting. There was not even an ounce of them that was like, yeah, well, it could have come from heaven. We all believe. We're all there in Mass on Sunday. Isn't that a little weird?
It's is the question that is raised in Wide Awake by M. Night Shyamalan, that a kid asks a nun, who is Rosie O'Donnell.
My question's about my Aunt Denise. She's not baptized. So that means she's going to hell, right?
No, actually, she's not, Joshua.
And my dad's best friend, he's not baptized either, and that means he's
Joshua,
going to
I
hell.
think you misunderstood.
Oh, man! Seth Greenberg rides my bus. He's not baptized.
Okay, wait a
Hey,
second.
my cousin's going to hell.
No, I don't think...
and family living next door. And the whole house is going to hell.
No, that's not what it says in the book. If you'll notice on page 4... Okay, all right. Quiet! No one is going to hell.
Do you mean the Bible's wrong?
No, the Bible's not wrong.
I don't get it.
Me neither.
No.
Okay, well...
Yeah, that's I have to admit, that's a big crux of it for me. Like, the guy can do anything but reveal himself. The guy can literally do anything but reveal himself. So, hey, be fine with the ambiguity. Work with it. Like, what?
His head came off. Eddie Izzard.
But I can prove there is no God. There's two little proofs I have here. One, that he doesn't fucking come down, ever. And two, if there was a God, he would have flicked Hitler's head off. If God had just put his arm through the building in a Monty Python style and just gone... And all the Nazis would have gone, hey, hey! God, we got a leader who can do that with their head. Yeah, Nazis, number one. Nazis, Nazis, one Nazi, one Nazi. His head has come off.
We just want to know where you're getting the money. All right, gentlemen. I'll tell you the truth. I'm the long-lost son of a very wealthy typhoon. When I was only 2 days old, a nurse turned her back while I was making a change, and I was stolen from the cradle by a band of starving gypsies. And a few months ago, the king of the gypsies came and told me who my father was.
So, Jimmy Durante, well, okay, we're going to watch the first 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, the first 5 minutes of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World because he dies.
Okay.
Please, you gotta say, you gotta tell me it don't make any difference.
For heaven's sake, tell him.
It don't make any difference.
I have a question. If you were shown like a clip of this and didn't have to sit through it, I do think beyond the hilarious...
I love Rupert, man.
No, but I'm saying beyond the hilarious dog piling of how much you hated Durante's performance, I do think he is well cast in his role. You know what I'm saying?
Durante's performance. I hate who he is as a person.
Apparently, he was also a last-minute...
Nazi sympathizer.
I don't think so.
Wait,
can I jump in real quick?
I see how things are going around here. I actually do agree. I do agree.
He was a very late addition to the cast, and so they changed.
Saturday Night Live. Oh,
they changed.
He was originally supposed to play the squirrel. He wouldn't fit in the skirt.
No, the main protagonist was supposed to be his daughter, who the year before was charming Mighty Joe Young. That has a lot of stop motion animation.
Yeah.
I would be genuinely curious. This is obviously a $1.99 Goodwill buy, but I would be curious if there was a behind the scenes of making the squirrel. It's on a Harryhausen level from 1950.
Yes, I doubted at the time they were doing.
I know, but I'm saying it is.
It's like some fucking alchemy shit.
All joking aside, he's right. For the 1950, the fluidity of the dance motions are crazy because they always do the online videos of what would the Harryhausen things look like with less jerky CGI, which yes, I know to some is the height of blasphemy.
Don't forget this 1950.
What year was Harryhausen working in mostly? Was it the pre-40s?
No, 50s, 60s.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So amazing fluidity for the time.
Yeah.
I'm saying look, Kong's 33.
King Kong is 33, and the biggest.
But not Harryhausen, which is usually who I see. That's what I'm saying.
He saw King Kong.
I was inspired by Willis O'Brien. I don't know who he was inspired by. I think Michelangelo and many others. But he was the first one to bring stop motion to the forefront by the dinosaurs in the Lost World. Few people remember who was in it, but they remember the dinosaurs. So he made stars out of these animated puppets.
What was it saying? We were talking about the...
No, we were talking about King Kong. And, like, for instance, one of the things that this movie doesn't have that King Kong does, and it was probably one of the biggest criticisms of King Kong, then again...
Sorry.
Then again, it's understandable.
Sorry.
Is the fact that the puppet for King Kong was covered with
dong juice.
Was covered in animal fur, whether it was real.
Oh, real?
Either real or artificial. I don't know exactly, but you would see in the stop motion the handprints of the animators every time that they were, not in every single shot, but in a good series of shots, if you pay attention to the actual fur, especially.
Stay on there.
Yes, because that was it. It was it was a metal skeleton that they could pose, and yes.
I noticed in King Kong that his fur chattered quite a bit, and I noticed also in Mighty Joe Young you were able to kind of control that a little bit more.
The fur, yes. Well, George Lofgren devised a means of substituting the skin of a furry animal and taking it away and substituting rubber for it, and which was very helpful on this. And we used unborn calf.
So the fur was embedded in a rubber hide.
It was embedded in a rubber, and it didn't move as much. In Kong, they used rabbit fur, and every time you touch the model, the fur would move. And, but you rationalize that by saying that wind was blowing.
Oh, absolutely.
And instead, whatever was however was Rupert done, it didn't have that problem. It was actually that's also what contributed to the idea that it was a real animated squirrel.
Just looking at the date.
Oh,
sure.
Yes.
I feel like I can't breathe and my skull is just screaming to crawl out of my face. I can't, it's painful.
Hey, we're your new tenants. We thought we'd come in and start tickling the ivories for a couple hours. Break out the drinks, Maud. It's gonna be a long one.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh.
As usual,
I just wanted someone just to grab Jimmy Durante by the throat and just start bashing his head repeatedly into the floorboards until his fucking skull cracked open.
Jimmy Durante in the Where's Bill scene of Kill Bill. So I thought that we could sing a jingle. Oh, please stop hitting me. I was Frosty, Jesus.
Although
Is there
he made movies with Buster Keaton, Frank Sinatra, and virtually everybody in the musical golden age of musicals.
Christ.
And no, I don't think with Christ. And he did a fantastic joke with an elephant.
Just walk natural as if you were out for a stroll. Not a word. Not a word.
Hold it! Hold it right there! Where are you going with that elephant?
What elephant?
Yes, I read about that.
Yeah.
You know, I
He
had a
crawled
couple
inside
of
of it.
moments of laughing at his jokes here and there. Kind of warm in these elephants. Can you imagine the image of Jimmy Durante squeezing out the back of an elephant's ass?
It's like the ending of the Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that's why I was just quote kind of warm in these rhinos.
No, I think it'd be fun. Wait, you said to crawl in or out?
Wait, what the?
I think it'd be funny if the audience is laughing at the elephant joke, and then he slowly turns the elephant around to expose his anus, and then a rope is attached.
Ta-da!
And now for my best trick.
Yeah.
I'll vanish.
Then it really pulls up on a rope and lifts the elephant's tail up, and then he brings a stepladder on stage and starts crawling inside the elephant's anus.
What happened with the girl and it's $2,000 and the producer that wanted to bang her? I think I missed.
This bitch needs some bangs. Jesus Christ.
But wait, what does she need $2K for?
Yeah, exactly.
A friend of mine is drilling for oil in California. He's down 9,000 feet. Got 500 more to go.
So now it's oil stocks. Don't you ever give up, Mulligan?
But Pete, only 2 G's. You can grab yourself 20% interest and become a millionaire in no time.
Are you out of your mind? Where would I get $2,000?
No, because her boyfriend, future fiance, whatever, has a sure tip by the guy at the bar.
Yeah, for tar.
Yes.
Black tar heroin. I mean, what's it called? Oil.
May I go now?
What do you think?
He's a Rusky.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Of course he's a Rusky, but he's a retard or something.
Tar, starring Kate Blanchett.
Tard?
That's not real. That's not real. That's not real that she just did that.
Wait. Is that
Tar.
the...
And her,
Wait.
She's on the cover.
Wait, is that the one where she's the composer?
Yeah.
We can't use this.
This can't be real. This can't be real. This can't be real.
What sound do those flowers make?
What? I think you're stepping on my...
Sorry.
What about the flowers?
What sound do the flowers make?
What's that sound like?
Clang!
Not what I thought.
I'm completely out of this
Oh,
discussion.
remember we went to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once, and they had that.
Dude, if we had been stoned, it would have been. The movie would have been done. It would have been cackling for.
And they had that trailer where, I mean, first of all, it just looked like a cheap Hallmark movie, but then it was about the.
It's the typical Hollywood tard movie.
Jason.
You don't
don't call retarded people retards. You call your friends retards.
It's the typical
What
Hollywood.
sound? Everything makes a sound. Really? What sound do the flowers make? Clang!
We can't use that.
Listen, okay. There was a trailer.
I'm gonna use it
There's
somehow.
a trailer that played before. There's a trailer that played before we all saw everything all at once on my birthday.
But we were also started watching like, wait, what the fuck? Why would this be playing on a giant screen?
By the way,
it looked like it was a fucking 1990 Hallmark film.
The folder is your fucking responsibility, Tanner. Why would you give it to Neiman? Right? You give a calculator to a fucking retard, he's gonna try to turn on a TV with it. Now get your sticks and get your ass on stage.
I can't.
Very cherished memory.
You saw it?
Watching Everything Everywhere on my birthday for the first time with you guys. Yes, that was from the last one. So, yes, already this trailer comes on, which looks like what everyone would make fun of Hollywood for, the stereotypical, this person with mental problems is special and unique. It already looked like that. So we're already having a laugh at it because it just looks
No, just it looked really bad.
No, that's what I'm saying. It looks so cheesy,
Yeah.
cliche. This is what Hollywood thinks is a special movie about a mentally handicapped person.
No. Just the quality of the film.
Quality, whatever. So,
No. It's a big distinction. We're not making fun of the mentally challenged.
No, I'm saying it looks like a run-of-the-mill, garbage, same old
quality
pandering.
film.
Pandering.
I'm retarded?
Whatever, dude, who gives a shit? Everyone laughs at retards behind their back. There's a part where the girl, the guy, our lead, who's mentally challenged, says everything has a sound.
Oh, now he's mentally challenged.
Some of the senses in my brain are mixed up. Whenever I look closely at colors, I hear sounds.
The girl says, really, what sound do the flowers make? And trying to ape it as much as possible, not to make you laugh, but you go, really? What sound do the flowers make? Clang!
Clang!
That caught us so off guard. And then I think Matthew realized that even though we were in a theater with a couple people, that he'd be laughing at like a tard moment.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
There were times when I was doing Jack that I actually felt retarded, like really retarded. I mean, I brushed my teeth retarded, I rode bus retarded.
Damn.
In a weird way, I had to sort of just free myself up to believe that it was okay to be stupid or dumb.
To be a moron.
The Pavlovian knee-jerk cackle it did in him, and then the trying to muffle it behind his hand. And before that, he was simply laughing at the most base level joke. There's a new movie with Kate Blanchett as a composer called Tar, and he was imagining it being released as Tard.
So it was typo. A typo is usually an extra. It's a word. There's a letter misspelled.
You mean you sent out 80,000 posters to movie theaters across the country with Kate Blanchett that says Tar? Are we done?
All you gotta do is ask. It's coming down.
Did we miss it?
We didn't even talk about it.
Why? Oh, the girl wanted to get in on the oil investing, so she.
No, she didn't want. She didn't know anything about it. She wanted to get the money for him because her
She wants
boyfriend.
to help her boyfriend.
Well, okay, so real quick, how did they play this pathetic subplot of she's probably going off with the schmoozy producer instead of her real love? She just got
She
tired
just goes
of him?
off with him, and no, but it's like, are they dating or what? Like they go to the soda shop and she's there and she's
Right, the whole like.
Can we go now?
Oh, it's you. Let's go, honey.
I'd like a malted milk, Phil.
Not in this dump, please.
Goodbye.
So long.
But does that mean the whole time she's with the producer, she's like, oh, hey, we're just working business, or are we actually dating?
It's not clear. It's because it looks like that she's somehow interested, but when he has a boner, she leaves.
Oh, that's right.
she
Your
leaves
joke
him.
that made us cackle. She just leaves the car all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
Hard and dry.
Night.
Wait a minute.
See you tomorrow.
Maybe she knew what was up and she was just like, yeah, I'll use you. I'll just. It does
still,
seem like it's just kind of dismissed.
Yeah, although there is a part.
It's right here.
Despite all the attempt that he has to get into her pansy, eventually he actually promotes the music.
Hey, look here, David.
It's your music. Phil just told me.
What music?
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the melody for two orphan instruments by Peter Dingle.
But the radio announcer says it was written by Phil Tippett.
Yeah, but she said she says that
Melody for two orphan instruments by Peter Dingle. Who's Peter Dingle?
Oh, you see, well, I put a man's name on it because I knew no one would even look at it if they knew a girl wrote it.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Women can write?
She never really
She never stole it.
No, she did.
She was pure.
No, she asked
did steal it.
she asked the tuba guy if she can have it, and then
Yeah, but that's like, hey, can I? This was fun playing music. Can I keep this music you wrote?
yeah,
Sure.
and he says yes, I wrote it for you.
Yeah. In a half hour?
In half an hour, yeah. Well, they fell in love in 2 days.
Talk enough about me. Tell me about you. Where do you work?
I don't. Well, that is, I write music.
Oh, does it pay?
No.
Then you don't work.
Well, I don't have a job.
Can't you find one?
I've never looked for one.
Well, what do you do for money?
I don't need money.
But suppose you were walking along with a girl and she wanted a malted milk. What would you do?
Well, that would be pretty embarrassing.
Also, we should note there is a colorized version around early 2000s. I think
Yes.
they bought the rights like 1999, 2003, and another one I think 2003. They colorized as usual. Why? I mean, it might be charming to see Rupert in that little adorable outfit.
Probably.
But right over there he is.
Who the fuck would pay for this twice?
So our first Christmas movie was not really a Christmas movie.
Seriously, there was a point where it turned and I was kind of with you because we were on the humans too much, but maybe the first 20 I was like, oh, I'm surprised. I'm going to be straight up charmed by this. I think it's because of just too much of a sucker for those cute squirrel images when he's dancing or saying goodbye.
It's a Christmas movie as much as Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
The greatest Christmas story ever told.
I got some bad news for you, Dwayne. Hans, Bobby. Eat it, Harvey. Holy shit. I'm starting to get a bad feeling up here. Merry Christmas.
Die Hard.
So, should we vote?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused, so one of you go first.
I'm a little confused too.
No, you're not. You know what you want to do to Durante. Hit us with it.
Well, I feel like it's going to affect Durante and Rupert.
I'm glad you brought that up.
You need to split into different categories.
Caught in the middle.
Stuck in the middle with you. Okay, I'll start.
Mateo will start.
Since I do know both for my age and my love for movies, I am fairly familiar from movies from the 40s and the 50s. This one it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's a story that it moves. It promises you. It promises you something that it doesn't deliver, because the Great Rupert, it almost bookends the movie to a degree, because it's very sparse in it. But for what it was, its intent, I've seen much worse back at that era. And the only thing is it's sold as a Christmas movie, which is not. So 3.5.
That's very fair.
Same as Fat Beach.
Well, like I said, it did kind of have me in the beginning. Rupert is adorable. I was raised to appreciate Christmas movies even when they may be subpar. I think there's a good plot here. I think for a kind of wacky, warm-hearted Christmas movie, the idea that this little squirrel is inadvertently taking the money from one spot to another and they think blessings are happening and stuff unfolds, I do think there's something there. If this had some, yes, maybe a lot of tampering, it could be, I could see this being like a cute little wonderful life type thing. I'm going to go directly in the middle with 1, 2.5, directly in the middle of the scale either way, because it's kind of just enough, just not enough.
Enough-ish.
It's enough-ish. It's right in the middle. You know?
Enough-ish is our...
you know what?
Drum roll?
I was going to say, should I bump up half a point
nothing
because
matters.
I thought I like the gimmick of Rupert.
It means nothing.
I like the gimmick of Rupert. I'll stick with 2.5. Dead in the middle because...
I am going to give it 1, 2, 3, 4,
okay.
5.
What about Rupert? What about...
And the only reason I'm not giving it a full 5 is
you are
because
giving it a full
I
5.
love Rupert.
Is it a full 5 or
Wait, you did give it a full 5?
Yes.
Oh, I see. It's the joke where you say you didn't, but you did.
Oh.
Don't you think you should have gone 4.5 because he's so cute and scared for his welfare?
I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, give me some more. And to represent Coolio, who we just talked about, 1, 2, 3, 4, get your woman on the floor. Gotta
Where's the
get
first
up,
one from?
get down. Mateo's song I introduced you to last week.
Oh, hell yeah.
Real quick scale of 1 to 5, but this time when Rupert came out and he said it's a dead squirrel and his eye was closed, before it opened, how much internal pain did you feel? Scale of 1 to 5. Traditional scale.
5.
What'd you find? Nothing but a dead squirrel. Why, he isn't dead. He's just overcome by smoke.
That's right! That was scary as hell, alright? So don't forget we gotta fucking protect Rupert.
I saw there was a squirrel. We had interviews on the patio, and there was a squirrel that was like just hanging out and just running around. And like I kept going like this, and he kept walking towards me, but I guess I didn't have anything in my hand, so he didn't.
Damn,
he just
imagine.
left. But yeah, but I'm like, I gotta get a peanut or something. But I like those videos where they have squirrels come up to tourists at national parks.
Oh, yeah.
And they go like this.
Yeah.
And then they take the water bottle and go like that, and the squirrel drinks it.
It happened to me in London. That is...
MaJaMa.
It's pretty awesome.
You see the otters when they're sleeping, they hold hands.
Yeah, so they don't fall apart.
And there's that one where they drift, so he goes.
That's gonna be my wedding vow. I will never love an otter.
On that high note of comedy,
yes,
we would like to wish you guys all a very happy holidays.
No,
season.
It's not. It's Christmas.
I know. I'm saying we kicked off today. We will be back next week with our full-on Christmas episode, which we think we know we want to do. We're not sure yet because again, YouTube does suck cock.net.
We do.
It's the fucking French Polynesians.
So, Merry Christmas,
Happy
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to you and yours, whatever you may celebrate.
Or nothing.
Or celebrate nothing and sit in a dark room staring at the wall and trying to fend off.
I don't believe in God and then he celebrate Christmas. Talk about hypocrisy.
Well, I think that...
This is for the gifts.
I think at this point it's become a nice time for everyone.
Not for the poor.
I know what you're saying.
The Polar
You're saying, isn't that how I view God? Shut the fuck up.
There's the poor kid.
Yes.
How do they explain why he doesn't get gifts?
Because he said that Santa never passes by his house.
No, who says that?
He says it.
But why does Santa not give him gifts?
Oh, because up to that moment Santa wasn't real. Then eventually he is real.
What?
No, up to that moment he simply says he sings the song that Santa doesn't pass by my house, and they say, oh, yeah, I understand and everything, but then they go to the North Pole and there is Santa, so probably that Santa is a jerk.
Oh.
This feels like a good time to insert the Insane Clown Posse holiday classic, Santa Claus is a Fat Bitch. which just explores how the poor kids wouldn't get toys.
But probably we won't, because YouTube would cancel it for music and stuff, so let's not.
You will play literally the amount under the second where it's legal to use it. Starting...
Santa's a fat bitch!
We love you guys. Merry Christmas. We'll be back next week.
Why do you do the horn?
It's something kids my age do. You know,
Horn?
we're into the metal music and all that
He
crazy
just
stuff.
did the horn. It's a Merry Christmas.
Oh, I thought you were talking like a horn.
Oh, honk honk.
Yeah. Butt, boobs, balls.
MaJaMa.
An angry squirrel terrorizing a Houston area neighborhood, even attacking 2 mothers.
But experts say they can be dangerous and go on the attack without warning.